Oh man, let me figure this out. Hold on a second. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. I am your host, Adam Blue. Yeah, it's not the normal time. It is a holiday. I was thinking, yeah, I'll get up and do it. And then I was like, I got up and I was like, you know what? I don't have to work. I don't have to do anything. I had no responsibility. I'm going to take advantage of that for like 30 minutes. So that's all that really happened. Anyway, this is day 2 of using this new software I really like. You can kind of see I kind of got some things going on. I'm still kind of messing with it just a bit, but I think this looks cool. Looks good. I think the audio is good. I was listening to the show yesterday, and I think that the audio is okay. It's not the best, but I don't know. Maybe that's something I can figure out later. But yeah, we have some stuff to talk about, don't we? So let me get all that set up real quick. We do have stuff to talk about, even though again, excuse me, I barely played any video games yesterday. I did play though, and we'll get to that. But what is there for me to even? There are some stuff to talk about. Okay, so, one weird thing about video games or video game controllers in the whole video game controller thing has to do with, when you get those little thumbstick caps, right? And I have a bunch that I originally when thumbstick caps came out, they made no sense to me. It's like, why do you need that? The controller's made to play in that way. So I pretty much stayed away. But then I bought this controller, this Starfield controller, and it came with, and it's like a third party, it's not even real. And it came with these thumbstick caps that I just left it on, and then I was playing Helldivers, and I was like, actually, this helps. There's just enough going on here to give me grip. And if they're raised a bit on the right thumbstick, I feel like I can make micro adjustments easier for when aiming. But you wouldn't want that on this because you need to, you need that clearance for moving. Whereas the higher it is, there's some science behind it, trust me. Anyway. So I pretty much primarily now play games. Like, this is my main controller here, the Vader 3 Pro. And I got this new thumbstick cap I put on, and I love it. It's actually made by this new video game company I'm starting to love, GameSir. Yeah, they're the ones that made the telescoping game controller for like the phone, tablet, the one that I have 2 of. I have the red, the red Magic version of the G8. I also have this GameSir controller, the Caleb T4, which is amazing. It's just crazy how good these controllers feel. Actually, I put the thumbstick caps on this too. Anyway, I was looking into getting into the thumbstick cap manufacturing game because I thought they were fun. They were cool to collect if they had like designs on them from games, but they also had different feelings that would work for different games. GameSir, came out with theirs. Oh, actually, I'm bad at that. And it was $12 for a whole set of them. I was like, okay, that's actually pretty good. That's more on the more expensive side of the thumbstick caps, but for the amount you're getting, I think that's actually pretty good. So I've actually been utilizing these, and I want to say these are the best that have come out. So for instance, this would be one that I would use like on a right thumbstick to kind of get a little more height, but it also has a lot, like it has the, it's concave and convex at the same time. This outer area is a little higher and it has texture on it. And then it dips in, but that lower area even has a bump. So you can really get some good grip. But I really liked this one that seemed to have, it's like a flying saucer. It seemed to have a little, man, it's so hard to do this. It seemed to have a little top to it where you get more grip. I love this stuff. So I'll be able to like test out as I'm playing. Anyway, it's weird how I've gotten to the point where I like having these on my controllers. I really feel like I have more control. I'm really gripping it. It's even made it where I despise the Vader 3 Pro without it. Like the way they have the texture on it, it's horrible. Some controllers do all right. I even think the Xbox controller does a good job. Like I keep going back to like that Xbox controller, even though like I look at the DualSense and how Sony's adding so much more to controllers to make them super premium. Just when it comes to just that raw hold a controller, playability, Xbox really nailed it. But man, these new third-party companies, they're killing it. And I do want to try another game search. Just I'm at a point now where it's like, Adam, you have enough controllers. But what's cool is a lot of these pro controllers from other companies are not that expensive. And when I say not that expensive, they might be $60, but that's usually the price of a standard controller. Cheaper than some standard controllers from Xbox or PlayStation. But these third-party controllers have pro capabilities that could be micro switches, mechanical keys, the Hall effect, gyro for Xbox, for instance, just a number of other things, even swappability of like D-pads and, pro controller features, back buttons and all that. Anyway, just want to throw that out there because I do think that is worth it. Okay. Man, I really came in hot, right? Because really I'm trying to say Happy Freedom Day. Right. 4th of July. It's really cool. I'm thankful that I have an awesome job and I get to have the day off. I worked a lot of jobs in the past where I was always working holidays, always working weekends, and I love having, jobs now that I don't have to do that. And I know not everyone gets to, so, shout out to all those that do have to work. Okay, let's get into some cool gaming news. Okay, I want to change this. Why did it default to that? There we go. I love the software. And for instance, I'm like, that's a little too wide and weird looking. Oh, look, I just did that. Okay, we're going to go there. Let me go here. So, interesting. Super Mario Land 2 showed up okay, tons of things I could talk about. This is actually a good show, even though I didn't think there's going to be a lot to talk about. One thing that's why. So I've had this running in the background, Super Mario 2, since we were talking yesterday. I'm going to exit out of that. This handheld just becomes cooler and cooler the more I use it. So for instance, I went 3 days without charging it, but I was playing on it. And yesterday it was like at 80%. I'm like, well, I might as well charge it. So the battery on this with the screen it has and everything, this is amazing. I really want to finish up that Castlevania game on here. It was cool was I don't like to do save states necessarily if the game is meant to be beaten a certain way. It really depends on the game. Like Dracula X on SNES, save states. Please, someone that's watching this, if you've beaten Dracula X without save states, show me the receipts. No, but so with Castlevania Legends I was playing, I got to the point where it's like, I died and then continue. And it's like, okay, I could just put it in sleep mode, but what if I want to play another game? I'll just say no. But what's cool that it did was it's like, well, here's the password. And I love that old school, right? So I was like, okay, I got to write down the password, totally forgetting that I actually have some journals and a pen here for that purpose and other things. So I just took out my phone, snapped a picture of the password. Actually, let me see if I have it on here. Yeah, it was actually the last picture I took. Let's see if I can get it to show where I'm kind of showing like, it's hard to see. It's hard to see because of but it's for Castlevania Legends, the password I put in to go to where I was, was I at a boss? I forget. But, oh, there we go. JamKale X with the first chat in here. Good to see you, man. And yeah, I did not know if I was going to be on today or not. So glad to actually see. I'm sure people are just chilling, hanging out too. So, okay. But let's talk about Super House of Dead Ninjas. I talked about this yesterday. I was like, it's cheap. It's for sale on Steam because Cartoon Network or Adult Swim or whatever is having to delist a bunch of games they don't have rights to anymore. That is one of them. I jumped back in. Fun game. It was Dead Cells, Rogue Legacy before all that. And it's a little simpler, but it's really fun. It's constant action. I was thinking of doing a stream playing it to kind of show. I might do that later today if nothing's going on, because I'm going to try not to do too much work stuff because I don't have to. So I might try because I want to test streaming with this because how I have this set up, which is really awesome, I'm using Streamlabs. Right? Like it's Streamlabs OBS, right? And then I went to OBS and I was like, oh, because you can do all you want. But Streamlabs has all this new stuff where I can have my own. Right now, I'm using a browser-based way to share all this. But also, you can use the OBS, the Streamlabs OBS desktop version, which I have all my Gundam stuff set up to stream. So it's very interesting how how that works. So I want to test it out later. Excuse me. It's just the morning. I just got up. Lemon and water kind of helps. Okay. So Super House of Dead Ninjas, just wanted to show that off. I'm playing that because, we heard it's going to be delisted. Worth it if you get a chance. Okay. Some other things that let's see, 7.4, share this tab. Again, apologies, I'm ruining the audio. Okay. Helldivers 2 is is PlayStation's fastest selling game ever. It has lost 90% of its PC players, which that's a lot. And I think there's a couple things. Nowadays, when people are interested in a new game, if it looks good, people are going to try it out. But if it's just strictly multiplayer, people are going to drop. And all they have to do with this game, in my opinion, is just make a menu item on the side or something that's like play campaign. And then just set, 20 of the different maps. Like you just have to get through 20 of them. Like, I don't know. Like they could just have that there so people will be like, oh, there is a single player, even though technically there is. But I really think that needs to be communicated to the player. That is the big deal here, is things need to be communicated to the player, because when players get in and they don't want to play online, or they think they're done playing online, they want to have a sense of something they can complete. All they really have to do is, like what Evil Dead the game did, is put a whole bunch of different... Evil Dead the game almost did it right. But, put a bunch of different maps you can play. The thing is, what's interesting about Helldivers 2 versus Evil Dead is the Helldivers 2 single player is technically better than the Evil Dead. The Evil Dead is cool, but it's really quick missions, and you're supposed to do it like really fast before dying. It's almost like it's teaching you to be good at the game. Whereas in Helldivers, it's more emergent gameplay, so you can run around and do whatever you want. They just need to have something that says new campaign mode, and all they really do, again, is just make it where you're solo queuing into a playlist that is like these are the default missions of the world, and I'm saying that's all they need to do, but with what they've achieved so far with this game, that is something I think they have the capabilities of implementing. And because then what they would do next is just come out with a $20 DLC that's Campaign 2, where they just configure another playlist of 20 of their auto-generated missions. And that's what they got to do. The infrastructure is there. They just need to communicate it that way. Because I've stopped. Yeah, the multiplayer is fun, but there's other multiplayer games. All right, here's this other one. I meant to share this before. This is July 3rd. Yeah, I meant to share it yesterday. Bloodstained producer Koji Igarashi teases new game in the works. So, if you're not familiar, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night was a Kickstarter. It was like, I think one of the first, perhaps, unless it was after Mighty Number 9, I forget. But basically, it was Konami wasn't going to move forward with making any more Metroidvanias with Koji Igarashi. Am I saying his name right? Koji Igarashi, yeah. And so he then went on his own and made this Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which really was a direct evolution of Order of Ecclesia. In fact, I think it was a better evolution than what I thought they were doing since Portrait of Ruin. Portrait of Ruin had the kind of the separate areas. Order of Ecclesia really doubled down on the separate areas and had a smaller castle. Actually, I can't wait to play through that again, because it was so hard. As soon as I played, I was like, I'm done. I want to explore it more. And then, so when Bloodstained came out, it kind of went back to that traditional, it has a couple separate areas, sort of, but it's basically one big castle, but it has like all the missions. It has like the character design is very reminiscent of Shinoa, from Order of Ecclesia. So I think there's a lot they could do next, and I'm excited. So in regards to our new title, we are already making our necessary moves. We look forward to sharing more things with you in the future. With the release of its final update earlier this month, okay, and that's what's really cool. Like in Bloodstained, there's other games in it that are like classic Castlevania games. It's really neat how that works. Okay. Worth noting, however, is that 82 Creates, the developer and publisher of Curse of the Moon 1 and 2, is not involved with Ritual of the Night. Or Curse of the Moon 3 in development, it'd be likely for it to be hinted at them rather than the other game's team. Igarashi is ultimately the mind behind Bloodstained, though, so he may be at liberty to make general announcement as he sees fit. So, what's this down here? In the near future could mean within a month or more than a year from now. The game industry's ambiguity has never meshed well, blah, blah, blah. Okay, in the meantime, however, long or short, the wait may be Bloodstained fans can survive by purging demons in Inti Creates Gal Guardians, which is actually pretty good. You can tell it's a step down, but it's very interesting. 2 characters, and there's shooting. Break your free of the change of death in Dead Cells. Obviously, we brought that up a lot. Or honoring tradition by looking back at the series that inspired it through Castlevania's wide array of net games. Like, this article is great. This person's really calling out everything that's like in my realm. Yeah, Netflix. Okay, who is this? This is my Nintendo news. Actually, I want to. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. I'm really bad at life. Okay, let's. What the? It's very. Oh, there we go. You know what? I'm confusing myself. So, who's this Amon person? Oh, yeah. Let me share this tab instead. Writing a lot of articles, but I would love to like follow their Twitter or whatever, because I really like the cut of their jib. Okay, let me just search. Okay, maybe I'll do that later, and we should get on with the show. But cool, Amon, cool article. Okay, let's go back here. This I'm finding exciting. Let's actually click on this and share this. Officially licensed Horizon Forbidden West alloy action figures, highly customizable. Again, sorry. This is why I need to prepare better. Okay. So I'm a big action figure stan. And it's really cool. I like video game action figures, and it's really cool that Sony is producing, in a way, their own action figures. Now they're using the company Spin Masters Toys. You know, I like the way this works. So just in case I'm searching for something, nothing inappropriate comes up, and then I can switch to the tab. Okay. So they make kinetic sand. That's right. They make those 4-inch Batman figures, which are not bad for being 4-inch. I love that scale. They're not like high end, but they're really good. Let's see anything else. So when you look at this, you don't really see anything that is like a collector's level. Oh, you know what? I want to get something real quick. Sorry, Jamkill X said something cool. Bloodstained was like the second big Kickstarter after Mighty Number 9 and the first big success that showed crowdfunding is a viable option. Thank you for clarifying that. I knew it was something like that. That's cool that you followed that too, because I thought that was a very pivotal moment for gaming. So anyway, coming back to this, Spin Master, they're not known for making kind of the collector level toys, but it looks like they are getting into that, and this actually looks good. For one, the plastic looks more like the Western American style action figure plastic, Marvel Legends. Anything else that's released on toy store shelves, like the G.I. Joe, even the McFarlane, all that stuff. So that's fine. You know, I prefer the higher quality plastic stuff you get from like SH Figure Arts, Mayfex, but this is okay. Because what they're saying is 42 points of articulation. You get 5 swappable faceplates, 6 handsets. I think they have the closed fist. In her hand right now is the open relaxed. So that is amazing. That's great for posing because you can make something look more realistic. So this is really cool. And it comes out August 1st. That's less than a month. And then I love how they have the box because it's set up almost to be like a display box. deluxe open display box. You could take the figure out, put it in easy. This is what action figure boxes need to be, where it's something you open like a book in front of you, and then you can pull the stuff out, put them back in. Do I have examples of boxes around? No, but like I get a lot of the Gundam robot spirits, and then, you open it, separate the plastic, but it's so like hard that when you pull it apart, all the pieces go flying. Okay, but that's not all. That's not all with this. And okay, I just saw something else cool that I didn't mean to look at. Let's click on this real quick. Not that I'm a Ghost fan, but I love these ship figures from Star Wars. I've just stopped collecting them, but look at this. See, this is why Amazon, and the Y-wings attached. This is why Amazon is not a good idea for me. Okay, so going back to what I wanted to share. Okay, is it not on this? Maybe it's not on this website. So I saw that they're coming out with Kratos from God of War, the Ghost from Ghost of Tsushima. What was the other? Okay, Kratos wasn't supposed to go for pre-order until July 15th, so this may disappear from it. Oh, yeah, because you could pre-order, but look at that. It looks funny. Like, it's not even a real picture of Kratos. Yes. Okay, so 6-inch. So the other thing is 129 unique finishes. So I think that's very interesting that they say that, because I said that with Aloy. It's like 200 and something. But let's see. Yeah, nothing. I guess nothing. But yeah, I forget where I saw that they were showing off, or they were talking about the other figures that are coming out. But anyway, something to. Okay, here we go. Maybe it's this. Introducing new PlayStation Studios collectible figures from Spin Masters. Oh, they could do Spider-Man. Even though, Marvel Legends could do that, but couldn't they do that still? Okay. Aloy, Kratos, Jin Sakai, and more. So let's see. There's Aloy. Oh. Can I not click on? Yeah, I can't click on the Kratos there. Is that a pic? Yeah, it's a picture of the toy, and then I don't know who that guy in the middle is. He might be another Horizon character. I think so. And then Jin Sakai. Definitely getting these figures, except for maybe the Horizon stuff. And we're going to get to more Horizon stuff here in a second. Yeah, look at that. I mean, it's so cool that Sony is taking their time. Oh, here we go. To make awesome act. I'm going to save this. This is definitely going to be the thumbnail. So it's Kratos and his son. Don't care about Atreus. I would get the Kratos, although I prefer classic Kratos. Maybe we'll get that soon. Okay, let's see. Is there another? Oh, they're using Flickr. I haven't used Flickr in forever. Do you guys remember Flickr? That's like blowing my mind right now. I need to log in and see if I have anything in Flickr. I think it's been like 10 years. Okay, so. Okay, here's this one, Jin Sakai. That might be actually the thumbnail, because that is cool. Definitely getting that. Look at the detail and the articulation. I love this. I'm going to be doing a full review of these figures when they get in. Okay. So anyway, that is that, and I have so many windows open. Oh, accidentally. Okay, so next up. What was the other article I pulled? There's a couple, actually. Okay, let's do this. Let me do share screen, Chrome tab, bam. Loading, show on screen. Okay. This is from Cheyenne Roundtree. Scoop, Rolling Stone has learned that 2 of Umbrella Academy showrunner Steve Blackman's projects that were in development at Netflix, a Horizon Zero Dawn series and an ongoing series Orbital, are no longer moving forward. So that's interesting. Why would, why would they decide to stop with the Horizon series? Clarification required here if you're going to drop this type of news without comment from Netflix or Sony. Oh, or just moving forward with. Okay, so here's just kind of my thought in general. I feel like Sony is pushing Horizon, but people just generally don't care. Anytime a Horizon has been released, there's always been another game that people would prefer to play. Like Horizon has never stole the spotlight. Why? It's kind of an interesting thing. One, it has cool designs to it, but when you're playing the game, it's a very busy world. It relies on like the teal and peach colors among, the cybernetic bio look to sort of. It's for me, it has very noisy visual language. It's really hard to nail that down, right? The other thing is, the games themselves have always just been okay. It's almost been like just a by the numbers open world game. Again, it's good enough for people like it, but it's never like taking the world by storm. I would even say, so. And the weird thing is how they then released a Lego Horizon game on Switch. So it's like, what are we doing here? And so they're trying to push Horizon. Hold on one second. Hey, is that a squeaky toy? Thank you. So I would almost, here's the thing. This Horizon show, movie, whatever, could be good. I just think Sony could be using their resources better. Like maybe do a Twisted Metal thing. I feel like a Twisted Metal thing would, I think they have the talent to be able to revolutionize what car combat could be nowadays. And, especially with multiplayer stuff, like aligning the multiplayer and all that. So when I hear that they're not moving forward with Horizon, it could be that they're going to have someone else make it or go about a different way making it. But if they do make it cool, it's just, they did The Last of Us, Twisted Metal. It's really cool that they are doing this anyway. And so far, like The Last of Us and Twisted Metal have turned out great. Yeah, Jim Killex saying the first one grabbed a lot of people, but the second one lost people. Yeah, that first one had this, everything was so interesting and new and the graphics were amazing. And then once I got further into it, I had just beaten Breath of the Wild and I was like, yeah, this doesn't offer what is possible. Okay. Now let's jump into news actually. Like in terms of like let's see what's popped up news-wise all of a sudden. So let's go to actually, because I have multiple feeds. Okay. Don't know that one. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot hits 8 million copies sold. Cool. I can see why. Didn't I play this recently and I liked it? I just played it for like a weekend and it was pretty fun. I think this is worth playing, especially on a sale. Let's see. I don't know too much of the Zenless Zone Zero Redemption, but it's a gacha RPG. Okay, it's just like popping up everywhere. But if anyone has any information on it, like if it's worth checking out, let me know. Latest Tarkov patch takes PvE offline, but there are caveats. I don't know. Caveats. Nintendo president says generative AI can be used in creative ways. Yeah, that's true. COD Champs 2024 watch the tournament. Oh, yeah, people doing COD stuff, esports stuff. Not really my thing. It's very funny. Before I stopped doing Blue Gamer videos here the first time, mid 2010s, I kept getting approached by people wanting to start esports. I mean, like, hey, can you help us with esports? And it's like, no, I can't. But it was very interesting that time. I think it was like, okay, this guy can talk and he knows video games. He might as well be an esports announcer. And it's just, I'm not into video games in that capacity. Like I love playing games in a competitive way, but I don't like the point of it to be competitive. I like the point of it to be playing the game. Let's see. Elden Ring patch. Ooh, new Elden Ring patch. Let's see. Let's see if it says what. What's in the latest patch? PvP and general balancing adjustment. Okay, not anything crazy. Seems it's a performance issue resolution. So, okay, good. Bug fixes. Yeah, I don't want it to be. I don't want this narrative to be where they're like changing the game to make it easier for anyone, and I don't think that's really going on anyway. Although I think David Jaffe puts it best. It's not the difficulty of Elden Ring. It's more of its more mysterious nature of explaining to the user what to do. And I think then people sort of conflate that with a difficulty, which, because there's so many people that play difficult games and are good at it, I think it's more of how the game language is communicating that to you. So, okay, very cool. Let's see what else. Oh, okay. Sony's Horizon Netflix series is reportedly not moving forward, so we'll see. It is unclear. Yeah, there's not much news yet. Japanese Sonic X Shadow Generations website is teasing a fourth playable character. Okay, cool. PlayStation will exhibit at the Tokyo Game Show in September. Great. So hopefully they have some cool stuff to show off there. I just can't wait for Astrobot. Nintendo has officially ended Wii U repair support. So yeah, and it's mainly people in Japan that still had Wii U that, needed repairs, they could send them in. It's not happening anymore. So kind of like shout out to the Wii U. It was a console that is cooler than I think people realize, but people didn't, and I get it though, it was confusing. And even how they leveraged the second screen sometimes didn't make sense. But I'm a really strong proponent of a second screen in gaming. I feel like there's still more that can be done. Like, let's say, for instance, you could play Elden Ring, and if you have two monitors, your second monitor could be a map, right? And maybe there's just like a button you hold down, and hey, now that controllers have so many back buttons are like now common. You hold down a back button, and then you use the analog stick to then move around on that second screen, the map or whatever. Just because I love the idea, like the Wii U was you could play games where you can utilize two screens, but then if you don't need that, you can then just play on that wherever you wanted to. Now we're seeing that with the Switch and all these handhelds. Nintendo, since the Game Boy has had the handheld thing, like it's always been that. So I don't think the Wii U was bad. I think it was how it was communicated. What's this, JamKillX? Basically what happened in Rainbow Six. I still stand how they canceled R6 Patriots right after Tom Clancy died. Oh, like the corpos were waiting for it. Wow, yeah, I remember that. That's interesting. F-099 adds, I haven't played F-09. No, I did play F-099. That's that, it's like F-Zero, but there's 99 people. It's like who can get to there first. That's awesome. Nintendo has added 7 more NES games to Switch Online. Okay, so it looks like a Japanese game there. That would be cool to check out. But everything else, Mach Rider, Urban Champion, looks like Donkey Kong Jr., Math, Solar Jetman, Cobra Triangle. Man, now that I think about it, I go back and play Genesis games more, or Sega Master System games than NES games. And I think there's a lot of good NES games. Because I think what happened to me even back in 1990 is as soon as the Genesis came out, again, I liked games, but I wasn't into games until the Genesis came out. And when the Genesis came out, I was like, okay, that's good graphics. And I quickly got over Nintendo graphics. Like there was something where video games, it's weird how video games didn't click until Sonic 1 on Genesis. And so that's why I don't go back to NES games a lot, because I just feel like those graphics didn't necessarily, just personally for me, aren't as good today as like a Sega Genesis. But I mean, that's just kind of technically obvious. Okay, kind of the same news. Yeah, that might be it. Yeah, it's that holiday, right? So I mean, there was still some news, still some things to talk about. So that was pretty cool. But I'm gonna end it here. I'm glad I actually jumped in and did this anyway. I like that I got to sleep in because it's a holiday. But there will be a Gundam Explained show later today. So if you're down for that, Steven and I will be talking Gundam. Oh, here we go. JamKillX, he knows what's up. It's the blast processing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when that was the big thing, right? And showed. I mean, you see Sonic doing it, running so fast. Anyway, yeah. So that was it. Thanks, StreamKillX. Thanks all for watching. Until next time. Wait a minute. How do I do my outro? I haven't even thought about that, because I think I can do set as outro, and then if I end stream, I think it automatically does the outro. Let's see. Play outro and end stream. All right, see you guys later.